Light, energy, electricity, and how things move. All things you'll learn about in science. You can learn them from books, but the most exciting part of science is seeing them in action. Moving cars, bright rainbow lights, electrical circuits, and bubbling, boiling mixtures are just some of the things you'll encounter. All this cool and strange-looking equipment are used to test ideas about how matter behaves. These tests are called experiments. Experiments happen in a special room, the laboratory, or lab for short. It may seem like a place just for grown-ups, but students can work in labs too. It all begins when you enter. Every lab has a manager. At school, it's your science teacher. The lab is not a regular classroom. You have to get permission from your teacher before entering. It's filled with scientific equipment. Once you are inside, make sure there is no furniture blocking where people have to walk. You must be able to move freely around the lab at all times. Also, look for the closest exit in case anything should go wrong. Now it's time to gear up like a real scientist. Put on a lab coat and wash your hands. Some experiments are about mixing different substances. There are ones that explode and others that freeze things. So if you're not sure what's inside a container, ask your teacher. Don't go tasting or smelling it. It might be dangerous. Most containers in the lab have signs on them to warn you about what's inside. It could be toxic to you, irritating to your skin, or explosive. If you get to know the warning signs, you'll be okay. When mixing things and heating things, some of it could spill. This is why safety goggles are great for experiments. And when you're done working with substances, always wash your hands before leaving. Other experiments don't involve harmful substances, like experiments about motion. This is a velocity car, which you use to study velocity and acceleration. There's a ruler to measure distance and a stopwatch to keep track of the time. Make sure there's nothing blocking the movement of the car. Be aware of other experiments happening around you and don't run around or interrupt others. It can lead to miscalculations or getting hurt. When you are done performing an experiment, return all equipment to where you found it and make sure it's in working order. The golden rule in the lab is always listen to your teacher's instructions. Even when you are careful, things can go wrong. That's why your teacher should know some basic techniques for treating injuries and other accidents. This is called first aid. It's a set of simple and sometimes life-saving techniques to apply in case of an emergency. You don't have to be a medical professional to perform first aid. You simply have to be trained in first aid. If the injury is minor, first aid will take care of it. If it needs medical assistance, then someone should call 112. First aid can prepare the hurt person before the ambulance arrives. A special kit is used to perform first aid. A first aid kit contains all the basic things you need to treat a wound or injury. The laboratory is an amazing place with so much to see, do, and discover. As long as you follow the rules, listen to your teacher, and stay alert, you'll have a great time. Almost anything's possible in the laboratory.